Mark Schlereth, obvious former NFL lineman and longtime NFL analyst, joining us now on set. How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Excellent. Thanks for coming by. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
How many Super Bowls have you been to in New Orleans?
Shoot. The first one I ever covered as an analyst was here in New Orleans. And that was right after I retired, so that was like the 2001 season between the Pats
that was us.
and the Rams. Yeah,
that was us.
Yeah, that was the first one I ever covered as an analyst, and it was right here in New Orleans. And obviously, New Orleans is a phenomenal site to go to a Super Bowl, and they just do such a great job of accommodating everybody. So it's a great time.
Isn't it great to be back?
Yeah, it really is.
It's too bad the building can't keep up. You know, I think it's the building has to be the reason why they don't come back more often.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is what it is. It's been around, like, I don't know, when was it built, like 67?
I was looking up the other day, 71.
1971.
71.
Really? Gosh, it is amazing. But I'll tell you what, the city it's such a unique city, you know, and walking around, we went and had dinner on Bourbon Street, and it's just so unique. It's such a cool place to be. It really is.
Okay, Mark. So, did you do any Patriots stuff this year?
I did. I did one Patriots game this year.
Which one was it?
I did the Titans game.
Okay.
In Tennessee, yeah, great game. I think it went over overtime.
Excellent game. It was a game where Maye hit threw the pass at the buzzer to send it to overtime.
Yeah, scrambled around for about 14 seconds and threw a ball, and he was amazing. He was great too. By the way, you know, it's always interesting when you sit down with guys that are players, you know, and you have those conversations, and just like. Sometimes it's like pulling teeth talking to a guy. Man, Drake was unbelievable. Like his knowledge of the game, his understanding of what he wanted to accomplish, like all the things. He's just a really solid kid, you know. And for me, you know, I'm of age now where I look at a kid like that does it the right way, that's a professional. And I always told my son when my son went to professional baseball when he got drafted out of college, I was like, just because you play a pro sport doesn't make you professional. And I always look at my own career. I was a professional freaking football player. That's what I did. And to watch kids that understand that, right, and come right in as rookies. Oh yeah, there's no question. He's smart. He works at it. He wants to be great. All those things are impressive when you sit down and you talk to him. And you know, you talk to the coaches about the way he preps, the way he studies, the way he commands the huddle, all the different things. You know, obviously we don't know what he's going to be eventually, but certainly was really a lot of fun to watch as a rookie.
What were your other impressions covering the team that week, getting in, you know, the production meetings, all that? As we sit here today, Jerod Mayo being fired, does that surprise you, or could you look back and say this isn't right?
Well, it surprises me that you get 1 year, because it just felt like you know, you should get more time than that. And Jerod really knows. I mean, that guy knows. He knows the game. He understands the game. But Vrabel's had a lot of success. There's no question. One thing I love about Vrabel coached football teams is he understands the value of the line of scrimmage. You know, that's what he played, front seven. Like, he understands that. And one thing you're always going to have with Mike Vrabel is a tough, hard-nosed football team that controls line of scrimmage, that your quarterback doesn't have to sit and play on the high dive. And in today's game, there are so many teams that always put the onus on the quarterback at all times. And as a player, drives me nuts, right? Because you never have a breather. It's always, you know, a check with me, kill it type of play. We're going to can it. If we don't get this look, we're going to can it to this look. We want to have, you know, these perfect plays calling up. And I always get frustrated with offense coordinators when they tell me, you know, we want to get into a premium look. I'm like, kiss my ass. Like, premium look, like sometimes you just need to line up and say, we're going to run 18 handoff force, and we're going to cram it down your freaking gullet, and there's nothing you can do about it, right? And it does two things. One, it allows us up front to really establish who we are, who we want to be as an offense. And two, you know what? The quarterback doesn't have to think. He doesn't have to worry about the look. He doesn't have to worry about checking out. He doesn't have to worry about going from run to pass. He doesn't hey, that's a breather for you, man. And we're going to give you 15 breathers during the course of the day because your job is hard. And I don't understand today's, we got to be perfect and we got to do this and we got I think it's such garbage. And it's part of the problem with the NFL in general, in my opinion, is we get all these young cats, you know. And, I mean, let's face it, like a young offensive coordinator, you know, that gets his opportunities, 36 years old, that's like Viagra to 80-year-old owner, right? They can't get enough of that. And just because you're young doesn't mean you can communicate, doesn't mean you're better, doesn't mean you're like, and sure, some of the guys have success, but as many that there's just as many that fail. It's like first-round draft choices, 50% of them aren't worth scored a piss. So, like, I just don't buy into a lot of the stuff that actually goes down.
And you think Vrabel represents more of the thing you're talking about?
I know Vrabel represents more of the thing. I mean, I played against Vrabel, and sometimes we get together and Vrabel treats me like a rookie. So, he's got that about him, and I actually respect it and am inspired by it, and he's a good coach, and I think his guys respond well to him.
Okay, so you believe in Maye. You believe in Vrabel. What's the biggest obstacle for the Patriots getting back to respectability?
Well, I think you've got to continue to build your football team from the inside out. And I think any great football team, that's how they're built, right? So you've got to be able to control both lines of scrimmage. That's why, I look at the Super Bowl and I'm going, the Philadelphia Eagles, man, are legit. And they could knock off Kansas City because they legit can dominate the line of scrimmage. And I'm telling you what, regardless of who your quarterback is, if you dominate lines of scrimmage, you're going to be in games. You're just going to win games, or you're going to be in every game. And so I think that's the first thing that you address, right? That line of scrimmage dominance. Inside, outside, off the edge, your pass rushers, and especially, your offensive line, so that you can do things like I'm talking about. You can run the ball. You can run the RPO game. You can do those things, and you can actually sit back and pass protect and hold up.
So you like the Eagles?
I do mostly because my hate for Kansas City.
Why do you have a hate for Kansas City?
Well, because I played in Denver for 6 years, and I've just watched them beat the snot out of Denver they won 16 straight games against my Broncos.
So is it simply that, or like a lot of Patriots fans, they're protective of Brady versus Mahomes. They don't like Travis Kelce because he's kind of a putz, or they think the Chiefs get the calls, like all that whole bucket of stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff is true.
Do you want to put this shirt on, Mark?
100%. All that stuff is true. I've gotten a lot of fights. For you guys at least, though, well, this is not a good thing because you guys were, the evil empire. Everybody hated your guts, right? And so, like, now it's Kansas City, right? Now everybody hates Kansas City, and that's the good old-fashioned sports hate is a good thing. And listen, I respect, just like I respected the New England Patriots, I respect the heck out of the New England Patriots. I really respect Kansas City. I think they are the smartest. They are the best execution team in critical moments of any team I watch. And I'm talking about understanding leverage of a defensive player, right? When you're route running, understanding, like, you look at Joe Thuney moving from guard to tackle and absolutely dispensing justice out there at tackle. That is such an impressive move, and yet it seems seamless to us as fans. And so all the little things that they do that create opportunities for their football team, and just, like I said, from the neck up, like, they're so smart. And I'll tell you the other thing, and this goes back to, what you guys had in New England for all this time, is you've got continuity from a coaching staff perspective, right? So you've been running the same stuff and building on that program for 7 years, and you've got Spags on the defensive side, and you got Andy Reid, and so one of the ways you build as an offense or as a defense is somebody gets you, and you're like, oh shoot, we didn't have an answer for that, right? And you know what you do? You build an answer for it, and then somebody gets you again. And you go, oh, we need an answer for that. And you build an answer for it. And when you're constantly turning staffs over, you don't have answers.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're just installing your base. And so Kansas City is the smartest team because they've seen everything. They've got answers for everything. And that's why it's so damn hard to beat them. They won 17 straight one-score games. It makes me want to puke just saying it. 17 straight one-score games.
Is that Eagles O-line on par with some of the ones you played on late 90s Broncos?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. They are. Lane Johnson's a freak show athlete. Malata's 6'8", 365 pounds, a dancing bear,
I hear it's the heaviest offensive line in Super Bowl history.
I'm sure it is. Because Landon Dickerson, man, I was doing a Philly game, and I was just walking off the field with those guys, and I'm like, we're not even of the same species. I was as a player, I was 6'3", 285, 290, and those dudes are all 6'6", 6'7", 3, whatever. And I mean, it just is like it's unbelievable. And there's a misnomer there too, because like creating leverage in blocking people, right? It's from your foot through your foot, your ankle, your knee, your hip, right? Everything goes from ground force energy through your hands, through your hips, and you create this upward motion when you're blocking people, right? So it doesn't matter. You don't have to be 350 pounds to create leverage. Leverage is through technique. That's how leverage works. So, like, in my career, I was 285 pounds. I could take anybody off the ball. That never was a problem for me because I had great technique and great leverage aspects. But these guys have all that, the great leverage, great technique stuff, and they're all 350. So they're freak shows. There's no question about it.
Mark Schlereth, Fox Sports, thanks again for coming by. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Great to be with you guys.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.